Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Today we are here with a brand new episode of our F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. As you can see, we've put the new Quest sponsor on the car, looking very nice. Put it on the halo just because I preferred it to that big bulky white logo of Avenza. But yeah, today we'll be heading out to the Spanish GP. We don't have much activity time, so we've only got one of these. I think, I'm not sure, I think, yeah, aero team building is probably the best because our aero is quite weak. So let's just advance through. We'll get that boosted up and yeah, just race weekend. Might as well just head right on out as Carl is just blabbing on in our ears. There's not much else really to do here, so yeah, let's just head on out to qualify and see how we do. So as we come into qualifying, as you can see, the ICE is quite worn, and this will come into a very big play in a few minutes. But as we come to the end of the first lap in Q1, I go P21, so not exactly really where I feel like I should be. I've always been good qualifying at Catalonia, so hopefully that trend will continue from last game onto this game, and then as I come to the end of my second lap, I'm a second up and I go P17. Just like we did in Vietnam, but I definitely have a lot more time to give as I find another 3/10 as we've been put down to P18, but we got up to P16. Joe is in P17 just behind us. So I return to the garage and then I come back out after that, right at the death of the session, to come out for one last lap just to secure our way through into Q2 because it's looking very likely here. It's come to the start of the lap. I'm very, you know, a tenth and a half down my delta, but coming through turn 3, I claw my way back up to about half a tenth above that as qualifying is now finished. As we come on up the hill onto this DRS straight, coming down, we're about 5 tenths up on our previous delta, but that drops down to 4 tenths. As we come out of the final corner, 8 tenths up. As we cross the line to go, where's it going to be? P10, we're through into Q2 for the first time. Yes, alright, that's great. Finally, okay, we're through into Q2, looking good. And yeah, super excited. Hopefully we can do well in Q2 and maybe be able to fight for some points this race. We just beat out Ocon there by 6,000. Well, not even 6,000. 60,000? How would you say? I'm sorry, my brain's just gone, but Joe just misses out on Q2 there, which is a bit of a shame for him. But now we come to the end of our first lap in Q2 and we stay P16, which isn't ideal, but obviously I'm not expecting for anything amazing, maybe P14 at best. As we come around the final corner, 8 tenths up, we cross the line, P15, just beating out Lando Norris there, but as we come to the end of the session, it's unfortunately going to end up P16. We were just about off him 0.003 of a second, so not much else we could really do there, but still best qualifying yet, and hopefully we can do something good in the race. I've got Claire to talk to first. She always asks us this, and it's like I don't expect to be starting at the front of the pack, so it's not really going to be an issue. We're fairly competitive in the bottom midfield. Obviously, that, you know, we're doing our best, and hopefully we can get some points this race. Still has that classic line. Anyway, for the first time, we're going to beat out Antonio in the rivalry system, I think, and get an extra point on him as team acclaim goes up with me and Joe. But here, like an idiot, I put a new ICE in, and I completely forgot the Parc Ferme was a thing. So yeah, it doesn't matter that was our best qualifying because we started from the back of the grid. But yeah, I didn't know it at the time, and I figured out, as you'll see here.
The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula One calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. It's a sellout crowd of 140,000 here today as we await lights out for the 730-meter sprint down to turn 1 of this 2.9-mile racetrack. Overtaking is challenging through these 16 corners, but there's still a lot of high-speed excitement to be found, including the flat-out turn 3 and the terrifying blind right of turn 9. Alongside me once again for coverage of today's race, it's none other than the great Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about her. They're in for a tough race today. They'll be starting out of position due to a penalty from earlier in the weekend.
Yes, it's not the position you want to be in at the start of the Grand Prix. Penalties like this put you in amongst the traffic. But we know they have more pace than those around them, so I expect they'll make some strong progress in the first few laps.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Vettel, Max Verstappen, and Albon, Ricciardo, Sainz, Stroll, and Sergio Perez. Fiat, Gasly, Kimi Raikkonen, and Norris, Joe, Giovinazzi, Kevin Magnussen, and Roman Grosjean, Ocon, Russell, Latifi, and Byrne. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So, from the back of the grid we'll be starting, which should have been our best qualifying, has turned into our worst starting position. So, I felt like an idiot. I was like, damn it, of course. I changed the bloody ICE and it gave me a penalty, so there was nothing I could do now, and we've just got to try our best as we come to line up on the grid. There's nothing I could do, just got to give it our all and just try to fight our way up through the pack. But yeah, but it did boost up Joe a few positions, so hopefully as long as he can get a good start, should be all good. But we get a pretty good launch, pulling alongside Latifi immediately, overtake button, pulling alongside Russell maybe, but I'm going to switch around to the inside, dive up the inside, absolutely send it. Gasly locks up a little bit there, but we've sent it up the inside. So many people lose out to Norris, unfortunately, but we just have the inside on Magnussen. We're going to pull through into P16 through the first 3 corners, and Joe is just up ahead. But coming into turn 5, we send it up the inside of Lando Norris. Got some good pace on this first lap. I'm just going to squeeze him out there, and we're through up into P15. You can see Joe there, P13, doing pretty good as we fast forward, coming up to the top of the hill, right on the back of Raikkonen. He goes for a move on Joe. I switch very late to go for a move on Raikkonen. So it's going to be 3 wide, and here I lose the back end. Raikkonen turns into me, clips my back end, and then he squeezes out Joe, unfortunately, as I run very wide on exit there, but he'll have a replay. So I go up the inside, and you'll see how Raikkonen sort of he just turns into me there, look, bam. And then you see that Bullard go flying off to the gravel, and Joe just got completely squeezed out, ran out of road by Raikkonen. Bit aggressive from him, but what can we do? And then Ricciardo and Sainz come into the pit on lap 3. No, that's so early, and they didn't even have damage or anything, so I was really quite confused. I guess their tyres just have been really shot from Q2, so yeah, I don't really know what to say. We're going to jump Vettel as well, coming on to lap 5. So we have a bunch of people pitting really early. A lot of the top 10 jump Stroll and Albon there as well. So there's so many top runners, you know, pitting super early. But now, lap 8, when I'd expect people to be pitting, we jump Leclerc. But now Raikkonen, lap 10, he has a move up our inside, and we're going to just try to hold it on around the outside, keep our front nose in there, just squeeze him out. He's going to try to keep it in around turn 3, but not enough room there for him. But now, lap 11, we come out just behind Hamilton, We're going to swing it around, up his inside, a little bit of contact there, and through on the Mercedes. I don't know, I tried so hard to get past Hamilton, and it was kind of a bit of a fruitless effort as I kept on the overtake button. But coming into turn 4, he just, more downforce, more engine power, he just flew past us. There was nothing we could do to keep him behind. So I ran a little bit wide there. I was just trying to push it as much as I could to keep up with them, but no chance we were keeping up with the Mercedes. But then Raikkonen comes flying past us. We couldn't fight him at all. Ferrari power working wonders for him. As Norris and Leclerc are having a bit of a scrap back there, and that's not what Leclerc wants, because I think the front runners might be in a bit of a sticky situation here, because I think starting on those softs, they're going to have to do a 2-stop, and that's just not going to work, I don't think, for them. So we're going to jump Hamilton again, because he's come in for another pit stop only a few laps after he came out anyway. So Hamilton's race could be completely ruined from that, but our pit window is open as Raikkonen comes in as well, and we're going to follow him, and Norris will follow us in. So I think the front runners might be a bit messed up from, because Hamilton's had to pit within a few laps. So I think that whatever strategy they've planned out there just hasn't worked at all, as we're going to come into the pits. As you see there, Raikkonen's going to jump us, and it looks like Lando Norris might as well. We're just going to come out in front of him. Ooh, just managing to stay ahead of Norris there. As Zhou comes as we come out, Zhou's going to be right behind us. And thankfully, Norris kind of got stuck behind the Renault as well, so that helps us out. And on these hard tyres, I had pretty good pace as we jump Sainz and an Alpha and a Haas. We're gaining on Raikkonen by a small bit each lap, but I felt pretty decent on these tyres. As now you'll see, Vettel comes out right alongside Raikkonen. He locks up into turn 1. We're going to swing it around his outside, which turn to the inside for turn 2, and we've managed to get past the Ferrari. But just like with Hamilton, this really isn't going to last too long, as Vettel's going to look for the move up into turn 4. Little bit of contact there, and yeah, Vettel's just going to squeeze through, and nothing we could do. So we do lose a little bit of time on Raikkonen because of that. But surprisingly, I managed to stay on the back of Vettel quite well, just sort of having DRS pull me along with him, and yeah, just managed to stay stuck on his back. But then suddenly, from lap 19, where I was right on the back of him, to lap 20, they just bolted. I don't know what happened, my tyres sort of just dropped off really quickly, and now had Lando Norris right on the back of me, because there's a bit of front end plate in the middle of turn 1 there. But yeah, we're going to jump Kvyat now, which actually makes us safe, because Norris and Hamilton can get past us now and we'll still be in the points. As Norris is going to try to look for a move around the outside into turn 4. We went very defensive, and he might actually get it done. Does he have the traction? He will have the inside line into turn 5, and we're going to be stuck to the outside, and Lando Norris might just have got it done. Oh, it's side by side, so close, but he's just going to get us there. Great racing from the AI there. That was fantastic racing from Norris. As we'll fast forward a bit, we have DRS coming down the straight, and I send it up the inside of Norris, squeeze out his line, and we're back through, and that leaves him completely vulnerable to Hamilton, who's going to sweep past him. And now Hamilton's on the back of us, and he just rockets past. That can defend from him like I can earlier, so yeah, not good for me. But Hamilton, I don't think he's going to get many more positions in this race. Yeah, because I don't see him catching up to Vettel. But now Norris is going to come alongside us into turn 1. We're going to squeeze him to the inside there, and yeah, restrict his line, not let him have enough apex speed, and we hold on to this P9. Really trying to push now. So there's yellow flag behind, but that's besides the point, because Norris is going to have another go at us. He's going to pull fully in front of us, but once again we squeeze that inside line quite aggressively there, a little bit of wheel bumping. But behind the yellow flag was because I think that Kevin Magnussen with an engine failure, Romain Grosjean almost went right into the side of him, and I think we'll get the pop-up in a couple seconds here as Norris is still pressurising us. And yeah, that is. Kevin Magnussen is out, and we have a virtual safety car which is exactly what I wanted, because it'll keep us safe from Norris for a few corners. But then both safety car ends, back to racing, and just got to keep McLaren behind. But here we see Norris get so far ahead of us with DRS. As Jeff won't stop talking, but I did mess up into turn 1, trying to send it too deep, and not Grosjean, Giovinazzi's going to get past us. So lost 2 positions there in one corner is not what I want, and I'm at the points now. But now DRS gaining on Roman Grosjean. I called him Grosjean again, Giovinazzi, and we're going to send it round his outside. A lovely little move there to get back up into the points, but it is going to be a tough few last 6 laps or so, keeping him behind. But now 5 laps left, Giovinazzi coming back on to us, going up the inside. We're going to just do what we've been doing to Norris and everyone really, just squeeze that inside line. They can't get past us. But now we're starting to build up a little bit of a train there with a McLaren of Sainz and Red Bull of Albon, and just holding on there through turn 1 and 2. But then Giovinazzi gets a great run, and now Sainz is starting to have a look at us, and with only 3 laps left in the race, we've lost out to Giovinazzi. We go for a massive dive bomb, dodgy dive bomb, City right there. And then Giovinazzi doesn't get a great exit. We continue to go side by side. Do I have the traction around the outside? Not quite. Giovinazzi's just going to hold it in there, but I'm going to go once again right on the back of him, up his inside. Nice there. Squeeze out his line, leave him no room. And Giovinazzi's hitting to us. Giovinazzi span himself around with only 2 laps left in this Grand Prix. For me, that is totally his fault. Let's have a replay of that. We go up the inside, no room. Yeah, he just accelerated into the side of us. That is, yeah. We'll have a little bit of slow-mo here. Look, no room. He just accelerates into the side of us. Yeah, that's definitely not my fault. Yeah, there's no way you can say that's my fault. Definitely all on him. But that's created a massive gap for us back to Sainz. But on the last lap, Sainz gains right in on us, and now we're going to be fighting with him as Valtteri Bottas is going to take the win here in Spain, but fighting hard with Sainz here on the final lap for this last points position. Really wanted to get a point here. Is now he's going to send it up the inside, and we're going to go side by side through turn 4, and he's hit us, and a bit of our front wings come off. Carlos Sainz and myself have come together once again, just like we did in last year's game. Let's have a look at this. You see, he opens his steering wheel. I think he got a second of oversteering. He had to correct it, just put him right into myself. But since we just had enough straight line speed to keep everyone behind, we're going to come home for our first ever points finish in Formula 1. Yes, we've finally done it. From last on the grid. What a race. Hopefully we can have some more points finishes.
Another Spanish Grand Prix is over, and what a special race it was. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
So, as you know, Valtteri Bottas takes the win, followed by Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc. Sergio Perez doing a great job. P4, AlphaTauri with an amazing result with Pierre Gasly, P5. Raikkonen did great. Hamilton and Vettel very disappointing for themselves. But we're in the points. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to Joe. He was having a great race. He should have been finishing like P14 or something. And I don't know what happened to him. That's such a shame. There must have been some sort of incident. But we jump up to P15 in the standings. As we have a point, 1 point at least. You know, we're ahead of Williams and Haas in the constructors now by a comfortable 1 point, as Racing Point overtake Renault in the constructors there with a very good result for themselves. But now for the interviews. I did indeed. What was our strategy? I think our strategy was everyone else had such poor strategy. Most of the front runners just really got it all wrong. Yeah, no, I'm just glad that I can please them all. No problem, Claire. But even though we get our first points finished, we're still only going to get 3 points, just like Giovinazzi, because we didn't get a faster lap than him. So very unfortunate there, but Team McLean's going to go up by quite a fair amount there. So almost up to Team McLean level 6, but not quite, but still very close there indeed. So we should be there by next episode. First time we're going to get 2 sponsor bonuses, so that's $500,000 basically in the bag there. But me and Joe did have damages, so that's a shame, but not what can we do? We do have a downforce failure, which is not what we want, especially coming into the Monaco Grand Prix. That's going to really suck. I don't think it'll be done before the race, but tyre wear upgrade, just don't have enough to get it, but the second we do I will be getting that. But I will get this durability upgrade just because I can't read that. Being sent to the back of the grid really just annoyed me. And here with the turbocharger, I fitted a new one to make sure I didn't make the same mistake again. But yeah, I hope you guys have all enjoyed this episode. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, turn that post notification bell on so you know when the next episode is out. And I'll see you guys next time for more F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. Peace.